I want to go somewhere and start a new life, but I cannot bring myself to do it. Why is it so difficult to walk away? Okay, I think we might have quite a number of answers for this one. Why is it so difficult to walk away? It's always more difficult to walk away when we have something to lose. It's so much easier walking away when there is nothing to lose anyway. And this is why many times our soul will bring us into situations where we lose everything so that we can be forced to walk away. Otherwise, if we do have something to lose, no matter how unbearable it is staying there, still being there, because it might not have been unbearable in the beginning. It's just that we learned what was to learn from there, and it's time to move on. So no matter how unbearable this is, if there is something to lose, like a steady paycheck, like a house, like children, then it becomes difficult to walk away. I would have to remind you of one thing though. Make sure you're not walking away to get away from something inside of you, something that you need to face. Because so many of us dream of leaving and going to another place where things are better. If you have this dream, ask yourself, what exactly is better for me? So then you can ask yourself again after this that maybe things aren't good because of you, not because of the environment, not because of your surroundings. Maybe you're expecting something from other people and they're not giving it to you, and you dream of walking away and going somewhere else to find it. This will never happen. You will attract the same people again, well, same kind of people again, where again they won't give you what you want. So if this is the case, ask yourself, why do I want other people to give me things? We are not talking material things here. To do things for you or to be a certain way. Most people call this respect. I want to find someone that respects me. Why? Is this because you don't respect you? Because if you respected you, you would not need to find someone that respects you. So if you do want to walk away, make sure, as I said before, it is for the right reasons and not the wrong reasons. Make sure what it is you're looking for. I don't know where I was going with this. Let me rephrase it. Okay, we all want more, or we all want something different, and we all get bored very easily. By the way, when we get bored, it's the soul telling us, okay, I've learned from this, we can go on now. But so many of us have this sense of entitlement. I want it all and I want it now. I've mentioned this in another video. This is probably how it was back home in your reality, where you could have whatever you wanted at that moment. But this reality is a little different. We are here for different things. Everything here happens in slow motion. So it's not that easy to have it all and want it now. But when you feel like this, simply ask yourself, okay, let's say I have it all right now. Then what? You know, this financial crisis that most of the world is going through at the moment. Let's say we woke up tomorrow morning and the crisis was over. And we went back to the way things were, let's say, before 2008. For most of us, of course, not all of us. Would we have learned anything from these last 5 years? We wouldn't. Because if we did, the crisis would be over. We would not have learned anything. We would simply go back to our old ways. Simply go back to looking out for happiness. Looking out of ourselves for true bliss, for pleasure, for fulfillment. So, if we are going to go back to our old ways tomorrow, if the crisis was over, what would be the point of having the crisis? It means we had it for nothing. We learned nothing from it. That's how it is in our life too. Many of us are in situations we don't want to be. But before we walk out, let's first ask, what have I learned from this? Sometimes, actually many times, it's as simple as not to do it again. That's all. But still, ask the question. Don't expect a logical, three-dimensional answer. But ask the question. We have said this before. The questions are much more important than the answers. Ask the question. What have I learned from being stuck here? What have I learned from feeling trapped in this situation? A few times I've had a client that had lost his money, and the client would ask a few times, meaning I got the same answer for 3 or 4 different clients. The client asked, why did I lose my money? This doesn't make sense. I know everything there is to know about money. I know how money works. Why would I lose it? So I said, okay, we'll ask your higher self. We asked the higher self, and the higher self answered with, I want you to know what not to do later when we have even more money. So sometimes we are in a situation we do not want to be in, simply to know not to repeat it again later, to know that this is not for me, to know that when this situation comes up again, instead of going in there with the hope that I will be happy, I will know to say thank you, but no thank you. This is not a judgment. I'm going to use this as an example. Some people get married 3 times, 4 times. Nothing against this, why not? But the thing is, they get married again and again thinking, this time it will work. This time I will be happy. My previous 2 wives were bitches, that's why I wasn't happy. But you see, it has nothing to do with your previous wives or husbands. It has to do with you. What is it? You need to ask yourself, what is it that makes me believe I will be happy in a marriage? Whether you will be or not, this is not the argument today. It's for another video. But you need to know, what is it that makes you think you will be happy there? Some people want to go to another country thinking that will make them happy. Many times it does, because this is where they are meant to be, or that is where they are meant to be. But so many times it doesn't. Not that they were not meant to be there. They were running away from themselves. So before you walk out, first try and tell yourself exactly why you're walking out, without ever, and I mean never, accuse the person, the other person, if you're walking out of a relationship, the boss, the job. Never, 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 never. Because this way we give them our power, and then where we are going without our power. And then it will take us years to get back on our feet, because we left our power behind. Always hold on to your power. And the way to hold on to your power is, I am leaving because this is what I would like to do right now. And this way you hold on to your power. Because if you are going to leave without your power, you might as well stay. Actually, you might as well shoot yourself in the head. Because you won't be able to do anything if you have left your power somewhere. So many of us don't understand this. We leave a situation, let's say we leave a husband, and 10 years later we are still blaming that husband. So 10 years later we still do not have our power. It's still there with the husband. The husband does well, the ex-husband does well, finds other women, is happy, and we are still blaming him. And the reason everything is going well for him is because we keep sending him our power. It is so important to take your power with you when you leave. And you do this by not judging. Judging meaning you don't have to like the person. But when you say, I'm leaving because you did this, that's it. You have lost your power. So you say, thank you, but it's time for me to go somewhere else now. I'm looking for something different other than what I have here with you. But thank you. That's how you leave. But you see, we humans have this need to be right. This is why we keep condemning a situation, the boss, a colleague, or the husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend, just to prove ourselves right. Because when the mind convinces itself that it is right, it has more chances of survival. And because our economy, and because our world is based on survival, we have the need to be right. So at this moment, try and release the need to be right in order to hold on to your power. Because if you can open that door and come out with your power, it will be very easy for you to start again. It really will. Very, very easy. It might happen in a matter of days. I'm going to bring up a personal story that I just thought of. Many years ago, in one of my moves to London, but this was back in the 80s, many, many years ago, I found a job as a waiter, and I was training with this woman. Her name was Maria. I still cannot forget her. Now, this woman, I swear to you, was a Nazi. I don't mean in her belief systems. She was just a Nazi, that's all. And I really needed the job. So I put up with her for the first day. I put up with her for the second day. Because I really needed the job. By the third day, said to myself, Eric, if you stay here any longer, you are disrespecting yourself. You cannot do this no matter how much you need the money. So I approached her. I said, Maria, I'm going to leave now. Thank you, but this is not for me. And I walked out the door. No money, because when you're training, you don't get paid in the restaurants. And I went home. I was staying with some friends, and because I knew them, they said, get a job first and then pay us some rent. But of course, I didn't even have money to eat. I went home and I said to my friends, sorry, wait a little longer, I will find another job. They said, that's okay. The very next morning, the manager of that restaurant, because I did not go into the manager to tell him I'm leaving, which I should have because he had hired me, but I simply walked out the door. The manager calls me the very next day, and I started saying, his name was Josh. I started saying, Josh, I'm sorry about yesterday, but, and he says, no, I'm not calling you for that. I have been moved to a different location. Would you like to come to this restaurant and work here? So things opened up for me less than 24 hours. Actually, I have to say, because it was evening, I think they opened up about 12-15 hours later. In a matter of hours. Why? Because I took my power with me when I walked out that restaurant. Back then, I didn't know about these things. No idea at all. But I just thought, there's no use in telling her off and shouting at her. This is the way she is. I won't gain anything. Let me just walk out. But you see, walking out this way, my power came with me. Every last inch of it. So in less than 24 hours, I found a job. And it was actually a very good job. And I was making very good money. So walk out, but take your power with you. Now, back to the question. Why is it so difficult to walk away? Again, because we have something to lose. This is why. So, if you're meant to walk away, try and do it before you have nothing to lose. But that's not so important. The most important is take your power with you. I will leave it at this because this one's a long one.